Like when you had enough of that man who called himself your father and decided to take it into your own hands and almost killed him. I got you off. I knew you well enough to understand exactly why you did it, and I got you off, and I got you through that. And I will get you through this, but it's got to be the same deal, pal. You got to be cool, all right? You got to trust me, and you got to play it smart.
I don't know what smart is, especially when it comes to Taya.
Well, what does she want?
Me to go away?
No. What does she want in the marriage?
What I couldn't give her. Everything that you just said, only the opposite.
So can you turn it around? All right. Do you think you can change? I mean, do you think you can give it to her? Because there's not much sense in blocking this divorce if you can't get her back.
I'll try.
Good.
How I feel about Todd is totally irrelevant at this point.
Why?
Because he can't return it. Because he's incapable of returning it.
And you know this because you tried?
Yes. The most I've ever had from him was an admission that he needed me. He can't give me what I need. You know? I mean, I thought that I could. I thought I had the means. I thought if I could make Todd love me more than he hates himself.
It didn't work.
No, big time. Big time, and now I'm just too tired. I need to start again with someone else.
Was Todd right to be jealous of Andrew?
Yes.
Are you in love with Andrew?
I love him. I could be in love with him. He's a good man. He treats me like no one's ever treated me before. And he would love me in return. He would cherish me in return, and I could live with that, you know? I could live with that. But first, I've got to get away from Todd. Will you help me, please?
Yes. Yes, I will.
Thank you.
I think the smartest place for us to start is by trying to convince Todd it's in his best interest to give you an uncontested divorce.
Sam, you keep confusing me with normal people.
No. Not a chance. I've known you since you were a troubled kid. I've known the idiot adult. I've known you alive. I've known you dead. I knew you before you had the bloodline you've got now, for God's sakes. Normal is not a word I would use in association with you. Interesting is the word.
That's enough. Really. Enough analysis. What am I going to do about my wife?
Well, why don't you tell me a little bit more? Why don't you tell me about the minister? What's his name?
Andrew Carpenter.
The attendant said this came for you.
My wife and her attorney request the pleasure of our company.
Where and when?
My office right now.
Good. Let's go. What's the matter? You feeling a little anxious?
Well, what do you think?
I think you ought to relax, pal. You got yourself a damn good attorney.
Good morning.
Well, I've got my lawyer. Where's yours?
Client. Taya.
Sam Rappaport? Of course I know who you are. Your Blackwell versus the state of Indiana took up a month of our criminal law class.
Well, I hope you managed to stay awake. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get on with this, please. Let's get on with this.
What is an attorney of your stature doing representing Todd in a divorce case?
Well, Todd and I are old sports buddies.
But you're doing this as a personal favor? As a friend of Todd Manning?
Yeah. I just whistled and he came slithering out of the woodwork.
Well, then, let's get at it. Shall we? I can't imagine you want to prolong this.
This will take as long as it takes.
Well, it shouldn't take that long. I think you're aware that your client is merely playing a power game with my client.
Well, I think there's a lot more to it than that.
Well, not that's relevant.
In your estimation.
In my clients, whom I represent, Miss Delgado would like out of what can only legally be called a marriage. I think you also know that if we go to trial, we're going to win.
Really? Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be here now, would I?
I don't think you're very well aware of your client's past history, you know. He has a prison record and a propensity towards violence.
Oh, I seem to recall the court awarded him custody of his daughter.
Yes, because he had a very smart attorney. And he thanked her by brutalizing her as his wife.
The hell I did.
And if that brutality ever came to light, you know perfectly well, Todd's custody of Star would be jeopardized.
Okay, no, you see what she's doing? She's twisting
Nora
everything.
and I are working this out, Todd.
Come on, Sam, let's not complicate matters. Let's get these two people out of this torturous marriage fast.
No. I want you to give me another chance.
I gave you another chance.
No.
And another,
Hey,
and another. And
Wait. You see, this is why we need some wait-and-see time. Look, we can't say anything to each other without setting each other off.
Tell him to speak for himself.
Oh, yeah, you know, she's stressed. It's obvious. I'm stressed.
My client is stressed because your client keeps putting emotional drains on her.
Yeah, because people keep butting in. Or things happen, like I get put away for rape. Or there's a reverend to run to every time there's a little problem. Instead of discussing things with me...
You don't discuss things, Todd. You throw things.
Yeah, that's right. I yell and I scream. When somebody walks out the door and slams it on me, I yell and I scream. She's always putting doors between us. Or ministers, or lawyers. Look at us. We're communicating through people that we pay by the hour through the nose. Now, why can't you and I just talk?
I've said everything I've had to say. I've done everything I've had to say.
Stop it!
Calm down. Thank you very much. Now, this is what you pay lawyers for. I will admit that my client may have pressed a few buttons here.
He's an expert at that.
Yes, well, fine. The fact is it is apparent to me that these two people care about each other. You don't hurt each other. You can't hurt each other unless you care. So I suggest that you listen to his proposal.
I want 4 weeks. That's all. Just 4 weeks. Try and get back to some of the good stuff.
What good stuff?
Hey, we had fun. We took that little weekend, you know? Did that jigsaw puzzle. Okay, so we didn't do the puzzle, but we turned all the pieces right side up. And sometimes, you know, I get back from work and we'll have a little dry sack, you know, discuss the day.
That was all a pathetic performance.
Yeah, but, you know, I worked hard on that pathetic performance. Tay and I, you know, we work good together. You helped save my paper. I appreciate that. And we've always been good with Star.
Okay, could you please ask your client to stop with this page, because this is just not...
All right.
She has given us sufficient evidence.
Hold on, calm down. How about a deal?
A deal. All right, I'm listening.
A deal. Let's let Todd and Taya take some time together and see whether or not their marriage is worth salvaging. If at the end of that time, Taya still wants a divorce, she gets it. Uncontested.
What are you talking about? I never said that.